Alright, what's happening, y'all? It's your boy Rico from Street Scores, bringing y'all a couple of big updates regarding the near future of this franchise. So let's get right to it, man. Let's get it. Alright, so first of all, Ron Rivera said, like he said after the game, that Kyle Allen, if healthy, will be starting against the Giants this weekend. We play the Giants Sunday, October 18th at 1 p.m. per usual. Because nobody really wants to see us in primetime games. This matchup features a combined 1 win, and it's in New York. Well, New Jersey, technically. And Kyle Allen will be starting. It's reported that he will be healthy enough to start. He was a full participant in practice. They say he looked straight to go. And remember, it wasn't a concussion situation after the Jalen Ramsey hit. It was an arm injury. And they're saying that his arm looks good, so Kyle Allen will be starting against the Giants. And this next 5-game stretch will be very telling, because we play the Giants, then the Cowboys, then bye week, then Giants again, then the Lions, then the Bengals, and then the Cowboys again. So we play the Cowboys twice with no Dak Prescott, who only has 2 wins. We play the winless Giants twice. We play the Lions, who only have 1 win, but that win came against a pretty good Cardinals team. And we play the Bengals, who has 1 win, 2 losses, and a tie. And that tie coming against the hurt Eagles. And the Bengals have 1 win, 3 losses, and 1 tie. With that tie being against the very beat up Eagles, who also only has 1 win. So in our next 6 games, our opponents have a combined 6 wins, 22 losses, and a tie. And remember, that tie is the Bengals tie against the Eagles, who also only have 1 win. So these next 6 games over the course of 7 weeks with a bye week in the middle are going to be very telling, because if Kyle Allen can't go out there and win a few of these games, then the offensive line is bad. The wide receiving core isn't ideal. It's actually pretty bad, other than Terry McLaurin, even though Isaiah Wright has showed potential. And then Scott Turner's play calling hasn't been the best. But it's like, if you can't beat these guys in this 6-22 in one stretch, then we won't be able to beat anybody. Because after that, you have the Steelers, who look like a playoff team. The 49ers, who, even with their injuries, are still no slouch. The Seahawks look like one of the best teams in the NFL. The Panthers aren't playing with anybody. And then we play the Eagles again in Philadelphia for the last game of the season, per usual. So if you can't secure wins in this 6-22 in one stretch, then when can you? And it's still crazy that Haskins more than likely won't get an opportunity to play any of these easier opponents. And then it's hard to call anybody an easy opponent, a winnable game, when other teams are looking at us on their schedule and saying, oh yeah, that's our winnable game right there. Because even as bad as the Giants are, I'm not sure if our offense can put up 34 points like the Giants just did against the Cowboys, where they still lost, because the most points we put up this season is 27. And that was the 1 win we got against the Eagles, when it seemed like everything just started clicking for us in that second half. It hasn't been the same since. And that Rams game was one of the worst games we've had of recent history. Moving on, Brandon Scherff looks like he may be returning to the starting lineup this week against the Giants. He was a limited participant in Wednesday's practice, today's practice, and Ron Rivera said he looked good. Now they're waiting to see what he looks like tomorrow. The Thursday and Friday's practices will be very telling. But as of right now, it looks like Brandon Scherff should be back to start against the Giants. And logic would tell you that with how, pretty good Wes Schweitzer has looked, at least not terrible, and with how terrible Wes Martin has looked at left guard, you would think once Brandon Scherff comes back and takes the right guard position, Wes Schweitzer would just move to left guard, and that would be our best possible combination of offensive linemen. But nope. Apparently in practice, Brandon Scherff was with the first team at right guard, and Wes Martin, for some odd reason, was with the first team at left guard, and Wes Schweitzer was just watching. So I'm not understanding what's the logic here. Maybe we just need to move Wes Martin to being a backup right guard, because he looked pretty decent at right guard last year. I don't know how he just regressed so much this year. So apparently he's better at right guard than left guard. I'm assuming, just based off of what we've seen from this year with him at left guard and what we saw last year from him at right guard. So definitely move Brandon Scherff to right guard, move Wes Schweitzer to left guard. But right now it doesn't look like we're on the path to do that. But thank goodness we're getting Brandon Scherff back. And this is big for him because, he now only has 10 games left maximum to prove that he deserves all of that money that he's asking for and trying to reset the market and all of that for a long-term deal. all of that type of stuff. So Brandon Scherff, you got to not only prove that you're the talent that we believe you can be, but you also need to be available. You need to prove that you can stay healthy, because like everybody always says, the best ability is availability. And moving on, well, really, I just want to get more of a feel of the temperature of the room. I want to know how y'all feel about this situation. Jamison Crowder is reportedly being shopped by the Jets, and I just want to know from y'all how much y'all will be willing to give up to bring Crowder back, because man, we need him right now. Terry McLaurin needs some help. And Jamison Crowder still got it whenever he's healthy, and that's the problem, when he's healthy. But when he's healthy, he's out there balling. And like Sam Darnold's only dependable target. Imagine Jamison Crowder with Terry McLaurin, and with Isaiah Wright getting better and better, Dontrell Inman being already pretty decent. Jamison Crowder could give us a huge boost with him being in the slot to replace Steven Sims, who even before he got hurt wasn't looking like he built off of what he started to do last year, where towards the end of last season, I thought he was going to be a star in the slot this year. But this year so far, even before he got hurt, he wasn't looking that good in the return game or in the slot. And then now he's on the little temporary IR, the 2 to 4 weeks IR. So somebody like a Jamison Crowder could be a huge get for us right now. But I want to know what y'all would be willing to give up for him. What players, what picks? Make sure y'all get in the comments and let me know that. I'm definitely going to be tuning in to check that out. Because remember, take into account that even as electric as he is, he just can't seem to stay on the field. The last year he was with us, he only started in 7 games. Played in 9, started in 7. And for the Jets already this season, he's already missed 2 games out of 5. So definitely remember to add that to your calculations. Also, what would y'all be willing to give up for Sam Darnold? Are y'all the guys that want Sam Darnold? And if so, what would you be willing to give up for him? Definitely not a first round pick. But what would you be willing to give up for Sam Darnold? And what are your scenarios? Like, do you think Sam Darnold can be the franchise quarterback for us going forward with a better team around him? I've been seeing on the internet that some people say give up a second and a fourth for Sam Darnold, and then use that first round pick that we're going to have on somebody like a Panay Sewell or Jamar Chase or something. I don't know. Along with the Jamison Crowder thing, I just want to see how everybody feels about the Sam Darnold situation also. Because Sam Darnold probably is on the trading block. If the Jets are bad enough to get Trevor Lawrence, which they more than likely will be, unless we're just terrible for the rest of this season. But like I said earlier, we have some pretty winnable matchups coming up. But if they're in range of taking Trevor Lawrence, I'm pretty sure they would take him. Now, it's not an automatic, because they still may want to try Sam Darnold some more and possibly give him another year and then take whatever great quarterback talent comes out of the 2022 draft. But if they do plan on getting a Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields or Trey Lance or whoever, it's going to be time to trade Sam Darnold. And they would probably get more for him right now than wait until the draft, just off of the fact that once they take a Trevor Lawrence or something like that, then people already know they don't want Sam Darnold, and then his trade value depletes. But who knows, man? It's just a whole bunch of scenarios, a whole bunch of hypotheticals out there I'm just throwing out there, and I just want to see what y'all got to say in the comments about them. Me personally, if there's a chance for us getting Trevor Lawrence, that's my ideal situation, because I feel like we can fix our offensive line problems easily in free agency. Because again, the reason the offensive line is so bad this year is because there was no attempt to fix the offensive line in free agency, or really even the draft last year. Our biggest free agent signing at offensive line was Wes Schweitzer, who was a backup until Brandon Scherff got hurt. Still technically a backup. And the highest we took an offensive lineman in the draft was in the 5th round was Sadiq Charles, who still hasn't even played yet. So we clearly showed that we wanted to go development, getting young guys, cheaper guys, rather than going to try to actually fill a team need to win right now. That's clear. And I feel like this offseason we'll actually go into that offseason aggressive in free agency and actually trying to fill team needs. And I feel like we can definitely put a good, at least top half of the league level of offensive line around the Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields or whoever we end up getting in the draft. Because I've seen a lot of people say that they don't want Trevor Lawrence because they're like, this offensive line is so bad it doesn't matter who we throw behind it. But y'all got to remember that we didn't even try to improve the offensive line this past offseason, like at all. We went for a whole bunch of developmental players, not a single play now player that's ready to help this offensive line today. All of them are future guys or backups like Wes Schweitzer. But I feel like this offseason we can go and get David Bakhtiari at left tackle from the Packers. We can offer him more money than the Packers ever could. Same thing with Joe Thuney at left guard for the Patriots. We can offer him more money than the Patriots ever could. And then Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields or whoever, just hypothetically, because I'm not even sure if we're going to be bad enough to get those guys. But there's definitely a way for us to be able to get a Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields with that first round pick and still have a good offensive line for them to work behind. I mean, the way we went into this year, it's like we set up every quarterback who may play behind the offensive line. We set them up for failure. Because again, during this offseason, we didn't go and get the best offensive linemen out there. We just went and got young guys or backups that were cheap that we could develop over time. But there was no sense of urgency. There was no, we need offensive linemen that can help us in 2020 today. I mean, Jerron Christian is starting at left tackle. And even though he's been a little bit better than what we expected, still not good, but I mean, he was absolutely terrible the past couple of years, and the fact that we had a plan to start him at left tackle from based off of what we saw from him the past couple of years since we drafted him just lets you know that they didn't even try to create a good offensive line this offseason. I feel like with even just a little bit of effort, our offensive line can be top half of the league, especially with the top 3 cap space we'll have. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Just wanted to get y'all thoughts on a lot of various topics. Wanted to update y'all on a lot of news updates that have come out since this morning and last night. And as always, please like this video if you liked it. If you learned anything, please subscribe if you haven't. Definitely hit that bell next to the subscription button so you get a notification every time I release a video like this, every time I live stream, every time I even schedule a live stream ahead of time, you'll get that notification. So you can be ready, get your snacks ready and all that type of stuff. Oh wow, I just got the notification that we will not have a Pro Bowl this year. I mean, I didn't know how that was going to work anyway, and plus it's not a priority, so that's interesting. I'm assuming they're still going to do the votes though, so that people can earn their Pro Bowl honors, I guess. I don't know. But with it already being announced that there will be no Pro Bowl, of course they're going to get less votes because fans are going to be less engaged because they already know they're going to vote for somebody and not even be able to see them to play. But that's crazy. But y'all already know, man, I really appreciate everybody that helps the channel, man. Everybody that donates to the channel, man. I really appreciate y'all. Everybody that's a sponsor. Really appreciate y'all for real, especially the Pro Bowl sponsors' names who you see scrolling on the screen right now. All of them, man. I really appreciate y'all. I'm going to catch y'all later. I'm out.